104-93 loss to Brooklyn. Spoiler alert, here's how this show is going to go. Bobby's going to tell us why this was an encouraging game for the Celtics, and the rest of us are going to tell us why it was utterly depressing. We're going to do that for about an hour.
It might be split then. The show might be split.
Good thing I'm here then.
Maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm
or maybe you're in the minority, right? Maybe you're 1 of 4.
I already can't stand everything John's gonna say tonight.
What? You can already tell, right?
I'm just ready for this. The group chat was completely silent all game. You guys weren't saying anything, and that just said to me right away, they're not buying any of this, and rightfully so, because the Nets still came on and won this game.
True, but rightfully so. But sorry, go ahead.
All that matters here is that you saw some compete, some just heart from the Celtics in this game, and something to project in the next year. Something that when you start to see this team in a more complete state next year, there's hope there.
I'm looking at next year, not next game, not this series. Anything we saw,
John.
No, I'm saying anything you saw here that was encouraging, it has to do with next year. And like Rob Williams being transcendent on 1 foot was such a revelation.
He damn near had a triple-double. On one
rebound, 1 block short.
Well, exactly.
And just so happened to break a Celtics playoff record. Unlimited minutes on 1 foot. It's incredible.
Yeah. Unreal.
But it's a reminder of why this Celtics team is just so freaking snake bitten this year, because these are the games where when they have key guys relatively helpful, they can play with Brooklyn. But when you don't have a Jaylen Brown, you have Kemba Walker who's shooting like crap all game long. You got Fournier taking bad shots, and there you are. Really, up until like the last 5 or 6 minutes, you're right there in the thick of things with the team that hands down has the most firepower. There were a lot more encouraging things about this game looking down the road. And to your guys' point, this isn't going to do a damn thing for this series. That they played them well. It's just not. I still don't think they're going to win a game. But at least we have a sample size that shows their core guys can actually compete, and they can compete against some of the top-tier teams. I thought they were going to get their asses waxed from the jump. I thought Brooklyn was going to come out and smash them. And that didn't happen.
But I just feel like if Kemba didn't hit those last 2 threes, John would have went on the whole this is borderline embarrassing, guys. Like he would have started the show like that. Like for their
they were about to get beat by they were about to get beat by 20 in a game that was nowhere close to that.
Those threes
that's what I mean, though. That's what I mean, though. If they lost by 20, it would tell a different story, or at least John would have ran with that narrative.
Nothing that happened in the last 2 minutes matters. What matters tonight is this. Your 2 biggest players came up really short. Celtics settled for way too many contested shots against a really crappy
defense. Get out of here. Tatum was awesome in this game.
Wrong.
He set a great tone early. He was getting inside. He was drawing free throws.
He tried a little early. He was brutal for almost 3 quarters, Bobby. You got to be honest with it. He didn't score a field goal in the second half until I don't know if you've had one. How do you call a performance where your best player doesn't score a freaking field goal in the second half?
Because he set an early tone.
Dude, come on. That's not his job. His job is to set an early tone, is to dominate.
Sooner or later, you have to start commanding the ball more. Yeah,
somebody had to step up in the second half.
I was surprised for that.
Tatum had 5 shots in the second half with about 5 minutes to play, and that should never happen with your best player. No. I guarantee you, if you look at the top 10 players in the league, and we talk about the top 10 scorers, they're not going to have 5 shots taken in the second half with 5 minutes to go. They're going to, particularly in a game that you've played well enough to be in. I thought Tatum, he wasn't assertive enough, which was crazy because there was that point in the game where Kevin Durant had a push off, and Tatum got really pissed. And was like demonstrative about it. And I'm thinking, you need to be like that at the offensive end of the floor too, buddy. You need to be demonstrative. You need to be engaged. You need to be that way, not just in the first quarter and early second quarter, but also in the third and the fourth. I thought Tatum was just that. The way he played in the first half, that needed to stay throughout the course of the game. And I'm not talking about the shot making. I'm talking about the attitude. He had a badass attitude the first half, and it just didn't translate into the second.
It's too
bad.
I
hated that, Sherrod. I hated it because, it's too bad because I felt like he was the respect that he's sort of been asking for all season long, right? And to his credit,
the way he played.
You dropped 60 you drop 50 in a 3-week span, I mean, you're going to get some respect around here, right? I felt like the referees were giving him that. But you got to be aggressive. You have to continue to be aggressive and force the issue. I thought he was a little shy in the second half, especially when Kemba Walker, let's face it, after the first quarter overall, I mean, he just wasn't the offensive firepower.
I don't think it was as much. I don't think it was as much aggression as they had to be being in control. The turnovers got a little crazy in the second half. They were letting Brooklyn get out on runouts, get open shots. That last exchange turnover with Thompson and Tatum was the game. And that was just a disaster when it came to ball control. I got to look back at that and see whose fault it was. Yeah. It looked like Thompson's at first to me. I'm sure there was just a miscommunication as a whole there. But Tatum's problem to me wasn't his offense. I thought his approach was good pretty much throughout the game. His connectivity, getting other guys quality shots, controlling the ball, not allowing the other team to get those turnovers is still what frustrates me with him. And I don't feel like anybody got Evan Fournier the quality looks that he needed in this one. And that's Tatum's job.
Stop. No. I love Evan. I do. But his decision making in this game was atrocious. Awful. I mean, there was that point in this, I think it was the third quarter where it was starting to get a little squirrely. They had a timeout. They came out of it, and he takes a contested baseline jumper at a point when you absolutely needed a bucket. You're like the last guy that should be taking that shot.
That's what bugged me about the offense on the whole. Okay. And yes, Tatum was trying to be aggressive and it just didn't happen for him in the second half. This is a horrible defensive team with no interior presence. And everybody outside of Tatum was just taking contested 2s or 3s all game long. There wasn't enough aggression from anybody really trying to put pressure on Brooklyn. These guys can't defend.
Smart gave it a good shot.
Smart played a good game, and Smart was stepping up when he saw that Kemba wasn't for sure. And that was, that was something, but not enough of that. I mean, offensively, this was unbelievable. I mean, they ended up with 20 and 20 in the third and the fourth, but
they were missing.
They had 8 points, like with 3-4 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and the same thing with the fourth, and salvaged them with a couple of late runs.
And not for nothing, but those 9 points from Jabari Parker, that was kind of a gift. No one anticipated that.
Right. You're not going to get that those type of contributions that might not happen again throughout the series. Right. This was a blown opportunity to steal one.
Blown opportunity.
There's absolutely no doubt. You're not going to get Brooklyn that's going to come out this flat. You're not going to get Brooklyn that's going to be as, frankly, disengaged defensively as they were tonight, because they're going to get better as this series goes on.
Disconnected on offense.
They looked like a team whose 3 stars had only played together 8 times all season.
It was a real concern.
Yeah. You see Durant and Kyrie on the bench, they're kind of just like talking like, did you notice when he did that? Like, they're still trying to figure this thing out, but I mean, they're so damn
gonna be worrisome for them
that they can pull it off, like.